Hey guys, I'm Mariya Mathers, and this is Blasted. I was born in Ukraine, and we moved here in '99 because my mom decided that we didn't have the best life over there, and she's like, "Well, I have a kid now, so her second kid." I was like, "She's gonna have a better life. We're moving." Sold all of her shit, sold her apartment, sold our house, moved us over here illegally, and then we're legal now. It was fine. But yeah, no, she just grew some balls, came through Mexico without any paperwork. And then we got really lucky because the judge lost our paperwork. And then we went through the whole process of getting our citizenships and stuff. And they were like, hey, that's a cute kid. We can't kick them out. So I don't remember having to learn a language. I think it came naturally to me because I was so used to already speaking two languages. Because I know a little bit of Ukrainian. I speak fluent Russian. But I don't really remember the process of, like, learning something. The only thing I remember is, like, being, like, the whitest person everywhere because no one sees this little, like, I'm naturally so blonde and I have, like, no eyebrows and big blue eyes, and, like, everyone's, like, looking at me like I am an alien. So it was a very strange moment when people were, like, staring. You're like, what are you? I'm like, I don't know, I'm a person, like, just like you are. It was nothing super strange to me, but to them, they're like, that bitch has no eyebrows. I started learning Spanish, and my mom, like, tells this story where, like, I would just pick up, like, there was a telemarketer, and I'd pick up the phone, like, our home phone, and just, like, talk to them, tell them I didn't need anything, and they hung up. And my mom's like staring at me like, how do you know Spanish, and how do you know what they're saying? But I had a lot of trouble, like, learning, like, how to read in English, so it was very difficult for me I had, like, a lot of tutors and everything because I wasn't the best at school. I remember, like, being made fun of for, like, not knowing how to spell the word "the" because it's super foreign to me. And, like, that's not even a word like, that I know how to pronunciate because everything I knew was Russian. Da is D-A. So, yes, in Russian is da, but then "the" in English is completely different things. So I'm, like, sitting there, like, dumbfounded, like, I don't know what you want me to say right now or how to even spell it. So it was a lot of not knowing how to read and how to write, and, like, math was still super hard for me, but it was a lot of drawing. So because that was a language that everyone already knew, it's just looking at something. So there's just albums and portfolios that my mom still kept for now, like the shittiest, like, flowers I was drawing or whatever it was, but it was a constant in my life because I had so much difficulty with everything else. So where did I go to high school? I went to 4 different high schools. I went to 3 high schools my freshman year. I started off at Kennedy. My parents immediately took me out and then put me into Granada. In Granada, I found out it wasn't my home school, so they kicked me out. And then I went to another school that does not exist anymore, but it was called North Valley Academy, and it was on Rinaldi. It was behind a church, and it was bungalows. So it wasn't even, like, a building anymore. So, and then I finished off my year there, and then this brand new school opened up on San Jose and, like, Balboa, I want to say. And it was a performing arts school. So it was an arts and science school. It's called Valley Academy of Arts and Sciences. And they were trying to do something different. So they wanted to be the school that incorporated more art and sciences into the programs because not a lot of basic high schools have that. And so it was more of like it wasn't as formal. So we didn't have bells. We were friends with our teachers. They gave us iPads at one point. So we got to learn with iPads and take them home. And we had, like, AP Art Studio, and we had a lot of art classes. So I immediately gravitated towards that. And took AP art for, like, years, and then that gave me, and it's basically a scholarship program where they give kids their instruments and the technique learning, and they're being taught by the smartest artists that are teachers in colleges. And so the way you have to do is you have to send in a piece that you've worked on and write an essay about why this is important to you and why you want to do this. And they pick only, like, maybe 5 people out of every school to do it. It's a very small class. I got very lucky to get accepted. So every Saturday, Me and my best friend from high school, who was also in my art class, would have to drive to Otis College, which is near LAX. So every Saturday, and it was about 5 hours a day. So we would drive there and just draw for 5 hours, I think, not longer. And it's a lot of like people, like drawing still lives and drawing people and learning every kind of technique and seeing what you like. And it just expands your knowledge on art and how to be better about it. And it's one of the most wonderful things ever. And I went to Ryman for 3 years and I got my certificate from them. It was really cute. The way that I got into the program is because I already decided that I wanted to take an art class in high school. And because I was already drawing all the time, like stupid doodles and like, messing around. My friends were all tagging. So I was like really interested in all that. So I was surrounded by taggers and watching them do really cool stuff. And I tried and dabble in it, and it's just the worst toy shit ever. So I was like, all right, it's not for me. But I do like appreciate it, and I think it's an amazing art form. And I was just, drawing my own little things on the sides. So when I had the chance to take an art class, especially one that was a college level art class in a high school, it was like mind blowing kind of stuff. And, it was getting better and better and better because I was taking the classes, putting the time and the like effort into it because I loved it. And so like my teacher in that class was like, everyone has to apply to this. If you are serious about art, go apply to this and put like your knowledge to test and see if you can do something with it. And so my like getting into tattooing was really like, it was a formal way to do it because I went to college during high school for it. And then once I graduated high school, I went to CSUN and I was supposed to be a business major and all of my classes were art classes. So I was like, clearly there's like a pattern here. I'm not supposed to be a business major. And I fucking quit CSUN immediately. And I was dating this guy and he was like, you should just start drawing tattoo designs for people. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. And then people were buying them and getting them tattooed on their bodies, and it was really awesome. For like birthday presents, I got like light tables and like all this like art supplies from my parents and my boyfriend at the time, and him and I broke up, and I was like, I'm not doing shit with my life. I'm 18 at the time. I'm like, I'm not doing shit with my life. I need to get more 19. I'm like, I need to get my life together. I need to accomplish something. So I went, made a portfolio of all of the art I drew in my life, and put it in like a cute little binder and like taped it, made it all aesthetically pleasing, and went to every single shop in the San Fernando Valley asking for an apprenticeship because I had balls that I did not know I had. I literally went on to the way I did this was I already had a couple of shops in mind that I wanted to work at or apprentice at because I knew a lot of the artists that were there. I already befriended a piercer, Marv. He's one of the best. I love him dearly. He was like, just get your shit together and go fucking talk to people. And I was like, okay, I'll do that. Thank you. He was like my little sensei and like just pushes me like, go do this stuff. Cause I had already like someone had gifted me a tattoo machine and I did 2 tattoos at the house and my friends were like, stop doing that. Just go get an apprenticeship. I finally settled in and I was like, all right, I'm going to go get an apprenticeship. So I Googled tattoo shops and I went to every single tattoo shop in the Valley and asked for an apprenticeship. And every single, like the nerves never went away. Pulling up to every single tattoo shop, like it was still so nerve-wracking because like, you're intimidated by these people. Like a 19-year-old white girl with like no tattoos, who the fuck is going to want them in a tattoo shop? I don't look like I'm a tattoo artist. I still don't look like I'm a tattoo artist. I have almost no tattoo. Well, this looks like I'm covered, but I'm not. And it was super nerve-wracking and like watching them flip through page by page and being judged on it and like maybe they'll say no and it'll shatter my whole life. And I never got a single no. So that was like mind blowing to me. And I think I stopped after like the 6th tattoo shop because it was one of my favorite ones. It's the ones that I wanted to learn at. And they're like, yeah, when do you want to start? And I was like now, tomorrow. They're like, okay. And then like, this is going to be your mentor. You're going to do this now. And I was like, my apprenticeship was hard. It was not as easy as a lot of people have because my mentor was an old school dude and there was a lot of abuse going on in those kind of environments because like, yeah, you're not shit. You're a no shit apprentice. And it was, go clean everything with a toothbrush. Everything has to be spotless. Go redo this. You're answering phones. You're setting up. You're not drawing here. You're drawing at home on your own time. You're going to sit here and be a shot bitch. To a point where I got introduced as the slave. Like, that was my name. It was an intense, and like the last moment was like, he put his hands on me and I was like, don't fucking touch me. And he was like, get the fuck out. Like, I don't want you here until I tell you to come back. And then a week went by and I went to my friend Rance, who owns Needle Pushers, Clandestine, and One Truth. And I was like, hey dude, like, I can't be over there anymore. Help me out. He's like, my cousin owns a shop. He'll put you in right now. He's like, go drive over there. I was like, what do you mean? I don't even know how to tattoo yet. Like, I did maybe like 3 or 4 tattoos in my apprenticeship before I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, my mentor didn't watch me tattoo. It was everyone else that was like helping me out. And I showed up and I see Alex and I see the guy who used to work here, Randy, who I love dearly. But covered in fucking tattoos. And I'm like, hi. They're like, hi, what are you thinking of getting? And I was like, I'm not getting anything. I'm actually here to work here. And they're like, what? I was like, yeah, I'm supposed to talk to this guy named Silos. I think I called him Silo. I don't even think I said the right name. He was like, well, what do you have? And like, I showed him what I did. He's like, okay. And then they built me a station that week. And they're like, so this wall wasn't here and that station wasn't there. And then the one that Kenny's at wasn't there either. So when I showed up, there was 2 stations in this room and nothing else. And they're like, you're going to be here. So I came, we painted all of the walls. We built my station and I had to start learning how to tattoo here. And I was garbage. And I was freaking out. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. And I'm like, this man hired me and I'm probably producing the worst fucking work. And thank God for my coworkers. They're like, okay, just take your time. Like, I was still sweating, not thinking of like having to pull a line, like holding my breath and just sweat like profusely because like the nerve of just doing this and doing it straight is like, it's messed up. And I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And he hired me and I was like, I gotta prove my worth. So I went and got everything pink. So everyone knew I was the only girl tattoo artist in here and I was going to be a good tattoo artist. And it took me about 1.5 years to finally perfect lines the way I wanted to. Because I already knew the style I wanted to do, which was neo-traditional. It was mandalas. It was geometrical stuff. It was a lot of stippling, which I was doing dot by dot because I didn't realize you can just slow down your machine and do this shit. So it was literally dot by dot sitting there like fucking cross-eyed already because I didn't know anything. And everything I had to learn was through going through videos or talking to my coworkers who were nice enough to help me. No, he hired me as an artist. Yeah, he just saw like the 4 tattoos I did and my book of drawings. And was like, okay, you're just going to be the artist taking walk-ins now. And I was like, all right. Like, I still had some kind of clientele because I had friends and their friends wanted to get tattooed by me. And I was doing all these amazing drawings, but like on skin, it was not the same story. And the amount of like pressure I had to put on myself because I no longer had a mentor. It was just the shop helping me. It was all of my boys helping me. And I will forever be thankful for all of them. Everyone at Wildlife I love dearly. It was a lot of strain because I basically was a year in my apprenticeship, didn't learn a lot. And the one, like, there was a couple of people that I can genuinely say thank you because they did put in the time and teach me when I was in my apprenticeship to the point where my mentor was mad that they were teaching me. It was wild. He did not want me to tattoo. And when I went and got my shit, he like texted me paragraphs of how bad of a person I am and how I'm never going to accomplish anything, that you ain't shit because you left. And I'm like, I'm fucking 19. I don't know. And I can't even drink legally. What do you mean? So when I work here, I was already 20 or 21. I think I was 21 already. And I was just like, damn, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, oh my God. I'm going to suck. And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm going to push myself. So it was constantly just videos and conversations. And like, I remember having to ask Alex, everyone inked, how to color in a leaf with color. And if I should like color each petal in separately or should I color the whole thing? Because I had no idea of how to even use color at the time. So I was like, what what do I do? And like, I knew the only thing I'd learned was like slow circular motions. And then someone's like, it's not actual circles, it's a movement of your hand. And there's like a lot of things that you pick up from everyone else, and then you just apply it to yourself and you get better on your own using different techniques. Yeah, I have so many paintings in here, but none of them are mine, by the way. I didn't do any of these. So I collect artwork that I think people have an amazing talent, and I want to showcase it because, not like they don't have enough followers or anything. They definitely do, but they're so good. I'm like, no, look at all my cool stuff that I bought of people who are amazing, because I don't even remember the last time I painted something, because it's always about tattooing now. And now I have a dog, so no more time, no more painting at all. You'll probably eat everything. No, everything I do is what's aesthetically pleasing to the eye, because when people walk in, the first thing that they're gonna base off of you is what they see. And so it's all immediate judgment. And like, I might look like shit sometimes because I'm tired, and like, I know I produce good work, so I don't have to look good, but like, my space has to feel comfortable and has to look good, because you're trusting me that I have an aesthetic. And I do have an aesthetic, because my room looks really good. So. I specialize in a lot of geometric, which is my favorite thing on the planet. I love my mandalas still. Will never get over it. Every person who gets a mandala from me is customized. It's customized. No one's going to walk out with the same tattoo and the same mandala ever, because none of us love matching, really, honestly, except for like traditional stuff, which, and a lot of, fun to say, traditional, which is something I never ever liked. I like did not want to do it until my best friend was like, I need my first tattoo and it's going to be traditional. I was like, why? So boring, so easy. And then we had to do a whole sleeve on him of traditional pieces. So I ended up picking that up so quickly. I can do it traditional tattoo in under an hour now with shading and everything, just because I had so much practice, so consistent. It was every week I was doing one piece on him, and there weren't small pieces. And you have to learn how to shade a traditional tattoo, and you have to use those bold lines. And now I do a lot of traditional tattoos, but they're not going to be in color. Fuck with color. I'm not good at it. Not going to be good at it. Maybe I will be. I do color. I don't do it a lot, just because it's not my favorite thing to work with, because it's really fucking messy. It's like you just use one little like line and then you smear, and then everything is red. Every your gloves, the person, your every single thing that you've ever used color with, it's gonna be everywhere. And I like control, so I don't want to mess with color. It drives me crazy. But no, I like my black and white. I recently started doing realistic portraits, which will kick your butt. But it's something that I already am comfortable with and I'm familiar with, because of all of the schooling I had with doing realistic things by just staring and then copying it on. So it was 5 hours of staring at a person standing and then drawing him exactly the same. Or it's like a setup of like vases and stuff and having to perfect that just by looking at it and drawing it down. So now when I have a stencil already and all I have to do is shade the thing, so easy, so amazing, super fun with it. So I love incorporating now portraits with my mandalas and with my geometry, because it gives it like a fun kind of flair to it. It's not just a boring like face or one mandala. It's like a bunch of cool pieces incorporated with one another. People say I have a style. I'm not sure what it is. I'm gonna assume it's neo-traditional because that's what I like to do, but I don't. People are like, oh, I love your style. I was like, what's my style? And don't tell me, because it's a lot of dark stuff. It's both outline and then a lot of detail. And it's a lot of me using the tightest fucking needle besides a single needle and doing all of these little details and hoping they heal the same way. And they do, which gives me like a little confidence boost. I'm like, I'm good at my job. And no, yeah, I love my neo-traditional stuff. And when people do it better than me, I'm like, that's so good. I get a little jealous, but I'm like, okay, that means I have to be better, because those like neo-traditional portraits that they have with like the hard outline, the cute little noses that the ladies have, I'm like, oh, so good. It's there's a tattoo artist, Danielle Sky, who she is so good, and I am her biggest fan. And she's the reason I started tattooing or took the apprenticeship where I took it, was because she used to work there. And I was like, okay, if they can produce a good artist like her, they can definitely make me into one. But by the time I started apprenticing there, she was already gone to 2 other places, I think. But oh my God, I love that girl. She's amazing. It's neo-traditional. So she did a lot of like the mandalas that she was doing, and like a lot of her, like my sticker on my thing, that's her alien over there. But it's a really old sticker, so it doesn't look very good anymore. But she does a lot of like incorporates mandalas into things, and I think I gravitated towards that. I don't know if it's because of her, but I genuinely liked her style. Like no one does it like she does, and she's just amazing, head to toe, the greatest. She worked under Norm for a while and learned a lot from him, I think, too, because she adapted a lot of his stuff into her stuff too. So she was there with him for a bit, and that was really cool to watch her. Like, she's just been progressing. I'm obsessed with her. She did my one little tattoo from her.
Also, actually got a tattoo.
Yeah. I met her a couple times. I ended up working with her sister. Her sister's Alexis. So, and they both tattoo, and they're both fucking amazing. Like, it's good for their moms or their mom. So a lot of artists do want to focus on one style. Luckily, I had my beginning 3 years of tattooing was to focus on that. So it was first year, maybe 2, I was focusing on perfecting line work. Because line work will make or break your tattoo. And you can tell, even if you're not a tattoo artist, you can tell that they're shitty because they can't even pull a line straight. So I was really hard on myself about that. And then it was moving on to shading. So I had to perfect shading. Finally figured that out like maybe a year ago, because touching a mag scared me. I was like, I'm going to make this look super choppy and it's going to look like shit. Finally figured it out. We're good on the mags now. And now I think I want to do more realism, because I've only dabbled like a handful of times with realistic portraits, but I like doing them so much. I want to keep doing this. I keep like pressuring my friends. I'm like, let me just do this one little portrait on you. It's never a little portrait either. It's like a good, like their thigh. So, and they're like, why? And I was like, I want to keep doing them. I want to keep doing these realistic portraits, but with like a flair of neo-traditional and all that stuff. And then eventually I'm probably going to go into color realism, because why not tackle that as well? You know, it's going to be a pain in my... I will absolutely be giving out discounts if you let me do a realistic portrait on you of my choosing. Not of my... No, yeah, of my choosing. Yeah. It'll be some fun stuff. No, they're usually like really gorgeous women. So it's no one doesn't want that. Some pretty girls with some like flowers or something. I don't know. If you want to get into the industry and you don't have a dick, just grow some really thick ass skin, because they are gonna chew you the fuck out. I was such a baby, and I was super sensitive, and I did not know how to joke around with myself or with my coworkers, and everything was hurting my feelings. I couldn't just come out of that shell. A year or 2 in, working with men who are just gonna keep fucking with you, you figure it out, and then you can start fucking with them back. So immediately just start fucking with them back, because then they're gonna be nice then. No, grow some thick ass skin, because this is a hard industry to be in. And it's also really important to know how to talk to people that aren't your coworkers, because being social and like likable is also part of the job. And if you're not, no one's going to want to come back to you and get tattooed by you, because sometimes it's not about your work. Sometimes it is about how you hold a conversation with someone or how you're joking with them. And if you're like closed off little baby and you can't say one sentence to them, they're not going to want to fuck with you later. Man, when looking for an apprenticeship, I think I'm the only one in the shop that actually did it the way I did it, where I was just like grab myself by the cojones. It was like, go talk to people, go walk into shops. As you know, a lot of it is like connections. You know, that's how we all get somewhere. Is because either we're getting tattooed all the time by someone and then we get an apprenticeship, or we know someone and they know someone and they can get you into a shop. No, if you want to do it, just get your shit together and go do it and be there every day and work really hard because there's no slacking off. And I don't think I ever want to get an apprentice for a while because I now know I had that strict bone in my body because if I went through it, of course you have to go through it, but like it's not right. Like, you know, I don't want to carry on that dickishness. I want people to be comfortable. I want them to be happy in a working environment. But like if you drop my machine, I don't want to fucking see you again. Like I'm not very nice when it comes to things like that. Okay, so people have wanted to apprentice under me and I would like give them a kind of a chance, but being my apprentice, honestly, it's listening carefully to what I'm saying instead of just like, it's hearing, not listening. Like, hear what I'm saying. Don't just have it go in one ear out the other and pretend you know what I'm talking about. It's being here when I'm here, and it's watching me actually tattoo instead of sitting in a corner and drawing. It's like, I remember when I was apprentice, I was like, why do I have to keep watching you make these lines? You know? I was stubborn too. I was like, I already know how to pull line. I watched you do it 1,000 times. I was like, no, you still have, like, now that I've been doing this for quite some time, like, no, it's important for you to watch everything I'm doing and make sure to watch how I'm setting up and watch how I'm breaking down. Because if you don't do it the same way, I'm not going to want you here. And honestly, the best way to get an apprenticeship with me is if you show me that you're already good at drawing. Because if you're not good at drawing, I'm not going to sit here and be your art teacher as well. It's a whole different story. It's a lot harder in process because it's molding someone's brain into understanding how to draw instead of just moving drawing to tattooing and using a different kind of utensil, basically. Yeah, oh man, like whenever we have like a shop apprentice anywhere and there's like 1,000 people trying to teach them, their brains are going to get fucking confused because you're throwing all of this different information and they don't know what to do anymore. So it's hard to just have the one teacher, and it's hard to be protective of your apprentice. Be like, no, you're not allowed to listen to them because you're not learning under them. You're learning under me. Learn what I'm doing, and do it. When my friends were trying to convince me to do tattooing, they got me the Amazon kit with the 2 really crappy coil machines that I had no idea how to set up. I just like did from what I remembered. And then I remember going on YouTube, like, okay, I need to learn how to do this right. I still obviously wasn't doing it right because I had no idea what I was doing. I had shitty tubes. I went to swap meet, got a bunch of stuff, went and bought my green soap. I was like, I'm so professional. I know what I'm doing. My friend told me to go swap meet, buy stuff. 2 shittiest coil machines, probably. I don't even know where they are anymore. I'm pretty sure I tossed them because they were really bad. And they were a gift too. So like I don't even want to blame myself for it, but I still do. And then I got my apprenticeship, and the company Easy is a really good company. Surprisingly, they don't make like a lot of machines, but the ones they do are not awful because I started my apprenticeship and they were like, just get a rotary. It's going to be easier on your hand. And just, you know, it's easier for you to maneuver with. And I was like, all right, I'm going to try a rotary. And it was like a $300 machine. I still use it to this day. I mean, yep. I ended up buying a coil when I moved here, and it was a Welker. Amazing. They're so quiet and they're so light for a coil. Like, hand to God, the best little coil I ever had. It was a little spider web. It was so cute. Love it so much. And then I was like, you know what, maybe I'll go back to my rotary, see if I like that again. Because I was using my coil for like 2 years. And I was like, oh, they can push good needle sizes. I didn't realize that. You just need to power up your power supply. You just put it up a little higher and then it'll do the thing. And so, yeah, my little machine that was like $300 has been doing all of my work for about 5 years now. Yeah, everyone's like, just upgrade. I'm like, why do I need to upgrade? It's doing perfectly fine. It's working amazingly. It has not died on me somehow. And I'm producing good work with it. Learn how to use your... Because, like, everyone's like, I have, like, 6 machines. I'm like, why do you need 6 machines? Like, wait, okay, in case one dies somehow, for some reason, it dies. Okay, it's good to have a backup. But, like, 6 rotaries? Why? Why do you need that? You just like glorify like beautiful treasure box of rotaries for no reason. You're spending thousands of dollars on for them to sit in your box. Why? I love my machine. It's a rotary pen. They're all the same. Easy tattoo, dude. Love you guys. Yeah, send me stuff. I don't know what else I need, but send me them anyways. Maybe a newer version of my machine. I don't know. It's old. Oh baby, it's so small and so light and literally, I'm 6 years with this little thing. I'm still love. Still looks like a vibrator though, like for sure, but it does the job. Cheyennes are bigger and bishops are bigger, yeah, and that's why, and they're bulkier. And I'm like, I don't need bulky, and I don't overwrap my machines either. I don't put a paper towel over my machine and wrap it. I like to give my hand pain and carpal tunnel, so it make my life a little harder. No, it's a light machine, and the only thing now I got a little bit spoiled is because I used Greg's wireless machine. I want a battery now for my machine because I don't like the wires, but I love my foot pedal. I can't not have a foot pedal. I love my foot pedal. I never want to get rid of it. I like having the motion of like turning it on and off with my foot. And it's like it makes me feel like a little rock star a little bit.
Maybe you could just have like
just
a pedal,
yeah.
just a step on it.
Just for comfort and support, my emotional support pedal. Yeah, no, I love all my old school shit. Like I love having my power supply. I love connecting my machine to it. I love using all old school stuff, except for now it's a rotary instead of a coil. And honestly, it's cheaper and it's nicer, and I don't have to do as much cleaning, and it does the job really well. I use my papas, dude. Because I bang out a lot of small tattoos for most of the time, and I tattoo super quickly too, so it's maybe the use of it is maybe like an hour or two. So I use my papas, and like people either shit on them or they love them. And I was getting in a fight with Will about it for a while because like there's, why do you need to do that? Like, why just get Cheyenne, spend a bunch of like $30, $40 on a box of needles, if not more, I think now. I was like, listen, they work really well for me. If there's one cartridge out of there that doesn't work, okay, whatever. It's like, they're not perfect, but I love them and I'm used to them. And now he switched over to them too. So now he's also using them. I'm like, all that shit you talked, and you're now sitting here in the same boat as me, and you're saving so much money too. Look at that. They're cartridges. They have a lot of unique sizes, which a lot of companies don't have. Like I use an 8 hollow, which like no one produces 8s nor hollow 8s, and they do for some reason. And when I do my traditional tattoos, I use my hollow 8 for like my thick little 9s, and then they have like really tight 3s. And so only 2 fucking needles I use basically, or a 17 mag. So those are my top 3. And a lot of companies don't make the sizes. I mean, yeah, a tight 3 is easy to come by, but an 8 hollow is almost impossible. So yeah, I like them when they're sizes and they're good. I'm just super sold with them. Dynamic, always use dynamic ink. Always triple black, baby. I even dilute it when I use a gray wash. I still use my triple black with my witch hazel. Honestly, I bought another ink because I was traveling, so I wanted a smaller bottle. So I bought a smaller bottle of a different company, which is a pretty well-known company, and I ended up using it here instead. And not black enough. It was not packing enough, and it was, I don't know, I couldn't use it. I used it maybe like 4 times, and I went and bought Dynamics triple black. I was like, I need my triple black. I need it to be super dark, and it has the right consistency, because oddly enough, all different inks all have different consistencies, and you have to figure out which one you like. And the one I used earlier, I was like, it's runny, it's not packing in anything. It's driving me crazy. I was like, just get and I had to buy it off of Will because the truck had already left. I was like, well, give me your triple black. He's like, I don't really need it. You just want it? I was like, yeah, I need that fucking ink. And it's a big bottle and it'll last you forever. So it's good. Dude, love Dynamic. And then for like white, Solid Ink is a great company for white. I've tried a lot of different ones. I like them a lot. I like them the most. I think the other one I've tried that I liked was Starbright. But this one's cheaper and it's just as good. It's like, why spend so much more money on something that's working just as well? And that's with almost everything I do. ink cartridges, my machine. They're all not the most expensive or the most well-known brands, but the work shows, and that's all that's important. My goal for a while was just to focus on work and being the best at what I do. And now, like maybe 2 years ago, it was like opening up my own tattoo shop and doing that. And like maybe I don't have to work as hard. And now I'm realizing I'm really young still, and I have not left this country since I came into it. So I want to travel and work as I'm traveling and go to every tattoo shop all around the fucking world and work with artists from Japan and Thailand and England, and just all these places have such amazing artists, and being able to like travel and work over there and not only make money while you're traveling, but learn from these people and make connections with these people. Who would want anything more? Like, I wouldn't even care about opening up a shop because, it means I work less. But like, what am I like experiencing? I want to expand my knowledge. And I think that's the most important thing. I'm not focused on opening up a shop. I'm focused on learning things and having these amazing experiences with people and tattoo artists, and eating awesome food after work and getting drinks after work and just talking about tattoos with people who are just probably don't even speak English sometimes. Like, that's so cool to me. It's my favorite thing. Not that I don't know if there's a tattoo scene in Ukraine, honestly, because even in my, like, I still have to hide tattoos from my mom. So, like, I still hide, like, I'll get a new one, hide it until when she sees that one, I'll go get another one. So it's, like, only a shock when there's one at a time. And so, like, she knows I have them, but, like, I just got a couple that she doesn't know about. So I'm just, like, long sleeves and jeans, Mom. Yeah, it's cold. I don't want to take off my jacket. And it's not, like, the biggest thing that's popularized over there. I think it's slowly getting better because now I have like my cousins that are like, she does really cool work. Like, I would get a tattoo from her. My mom's like really surprised that people who are from Soviet Union, Russia, and fucking Ukraine are all wanting to get these tattoos, and they're not gangsters, because that's what it was. It was the Russian mafia that would have tattoos. No one else would have them. And so when my mom sees the tattoos on me, she's like, you just look like you're doing bad things. I'm like, I'm literally tattooing butterflies most of the time, Mom. Like, relax. We're not doing any crazy gang shit over here. We're literally butterflies and flowers. We're good. So I'm not sure about the scene in Ukraine, but I'm sure it's getting better. I mean, I don't even know what's going on right now specifically too, but there are a lot of good Russian tattoo artists. I would absolutely go back to Ukraine and tattoo over there as soon as everything settles down and we win the war. Yeah, I would. I was planning on going back for the first time in May, and then they're like, no, sorry, we're gonna give you war instead. You can't visit yet. So as soon as everything gets figured out, yeah, absolutely, I would go back. And I get to be with my family who I haven't seen in 20 plus years. It's like 23 years since I've been back and saw my only living relatives, because it's just me, my parents, and my brother here. I don't have anybody else over here. It's a lonely life. No, I would, yeah, absolutely. And then I probably get to tattoo my family if they're crazy enough. People I want to thank. Honestly, I can give out every shout out on the planet right now, but it'll be at least 20 people, and I don't remember all of their Instagram handles. But no, they know, because if you're part of that journey, if you let me tattoo you when I was an apprentice, which is all of my friends, which of course they were going to fucking say yes. So it's all of my friends who let me tattoo them, all the people who covered my ass with money when I was an apprentice and I was a broke ass motherfucker who couldn't afford anything, who just sent me money just because they felt bad. My friends are amazing. All the people who I worked with or next to who have given me some kind of keys of advice, people who have hired me, people who have given me good words of advice, all of my clients, all of these people I'm thankful for every day, because this is a very special job and not a lot of people can do it. And it takes a lot to get here, and it takes a lot to be good and respected. And so everyone, I'm thanking everyone. Mariya Mathers, Mariya. It's fancy. That's my Instagram.
Cool. You did it.
Ah. Oh my goodness.